This is my copy of The Legend of Zelda. I bought it, I can play it, and it has some value to me because of that. I do not, however, have the right to copy this and then start passing it around. The right to copy this, or the copyright, belongs to Nintendo. It says so right here on the box. Now they can copy it and they can sell it to people to make money. In fact, that's the main thing they do to make money. Now, I could copy this and start passing it around, but that would be illegal, and it's called pirating. And if Nintendo found out that I was doing this and they really wanted to, they could get me prosecuted, they could sue me, and they would win. It's pretty clear in the law that I'm not allowed to do that. So what is an NFT? Now I've written here on a piece of paper, my copy of Zelda. Now an NFT is essentially the digital version of this piece of paper. It's referencing my copy of Zelda, but does it give me ownership of this copy of Zelda? No. Does it give me the copyright rights to The Legend of Zelda? No, of course not. Does it even give me access to this in any way? No. They're referencing each other, but they're basically not connected beyond that. In fact, anyone could write that. I could write this about anything I want. I could write it saying the very concept of Zelda and make an NFT of that. But it doesn't give me any rights to do anything. Now, you may be thinking something like, I'm not sure I understand. What is the point of owning this piece of paper? It's just something you wrote down. Doesn't seem to have any value. I don't understand why someone would pay money for that. Now, if those are the kinds of things you're thinking, you are thinking correctly. This isn't worth anything. Now, advocates will say, well, it's verified by the blockchain, though. Well, what the blockchain is a very fancy way of saying there's a list of activities that is recorded, and that list can't be changed or deleted. And when I make this piece of paper, it's recorded on that list that I made it, at the start of February 2022. Okay, I mean, still, who cares? Who would buy this? That's a pretty good question. Who would buy this? Well, NFTs, like pretty much all cryptocurrency, is based on speculation. What that means is a person would buy it simply with the hope that they could sell it later for more money. So what is this worth? What could I sell it for? Well, like everything, something is worth what a buyer and a seller agree that it's worth. If I can convince you to spend $5 and buy this, in that moment, it's worth $5. Now, you might then go try to sell it to someone else, and you can't convince anyone to buy it. So what is it worth then? Nothing. And at some point, it's kind of dawn on everyone, we've just been buying digital version of pointless cards. These aren't worth anything. Then they all will be worthless. It's basically a scam. And a scam is when a person buys something and they get something other than what they're led to believe they're going to get. Many people are being led to believe they're buying the copyright to something or the thing itself, and they're not. They're just buying this piece of paper. And there's other ways it's a scam as well. Some people that make music or pictures are being told, you got to make an NFT of everything you've ever made, or else someone's going to steal it. They'll get the copyright. Now, that's completely not true. This doesn't give anyone copyright rights. It doesn't do anything. So there's no need to go spend a bunch of money, thousands of dollars, and go make NFTs of all of your drawings. I mean, it's completely unnecessary. So why am I talking about this on my YouTube channel that's generally about video games? Well, video game companies are getting really involved in NFTs for some reason. Really big companies like EA and Ubisoft and Konami and Square Enix. These are very large, multi-billion-dollar international companies, and they're trying to sell you these things. I wouldn't go for it. It's a pretty bad idea. My guess is they'll be regulated in the relatively near future. Now, if you look up NFTs online, you're going to find a lot of people defending them, explaining things like, you just don't get it. It's more complicated. There's these verification nodes in the blockchain, blah, blah, blah. It really is this simple to understand. You are understanding it correctly. And that's actually a pretty common tactic of scammers, to try to make you feel like you're not smart enough to understand, or there's this really complicated information and smart people get it and you don't, but you're going to be missing out if you don't get in. That makes people feel sort of embarrassed for not understanding. When someone's got to explain something to you 5 times and you're like, I still don't really even get what they're talking about. They're relying on that so that you might go, oh yeah, I totally understand. I'll take 10 of them. It's just a tactic to manipulate you. But really, it is this simple. You are getting it. It is nonsense. Now, before we're done, I just wanted to say a word to people that have bought these things. That can be really tough when it starts to dawn on you, what have I done? I spent, in some cases, a bunch of money on this thing that is pointless and worthless. Oh my gosh. You might feel embarrassed. You might feel angry. You might feel like you've been tricked. And those are all really understandable feelings. But one thing I want to encourage you to do, though, is to try to do the ethical thing from here on out. You would be really tempted to go, I got to cut my losses and try to sell these things to someone. But all that's happening there is you're keeping the scam going. Now you've become a scammer. All those feelings you're having of dread and anxiety about your finances and the embarrassment and things like that, you would be purposely doing that to someone else. And that's not cool. I think the ethical thing to do is to go, this is rough, but I guess I just have to absorb this loss because I refuse to do this to someone else. People shouldn't be treated that way, and I shouldn't have been treated this way. And you're right, you shouldn't have been treated this way. I'm sorry that happened to you. Well, if you have any questions, please leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer them.